All right, guys, we are up early today. It's earnings day today, so we have mm, we're up. So we're gonna cover some of the earnings that are out this morning. We got GM, RTX, Verizon, GE. We have Lockheed Martin, 3M. Also this morning. Oh man, I'm started early like I used to, man. We'll see if it's worth it. All right, so we do have some earnings coming out. We got so far 3M dropped 198 EPS versus 190 expected revenue of 6.1 billion versus 6.06 billion expected fiscal year EPS view of 730 versus 730 previously guided. They expected 726. So 3M did okay. There's 3M's numbers right here if you want to see them. General Motors came out 296 versus 243 EPS revenue of 48.76 versus 44.58 billion. Better than expected EPS and revenue for GM. Here's GM's right here. Yeah, this is a robe. By the way, guys, I'm just gonna keep wearing it because it's cold, but it's a robe. GE Aerospace ended up posting adjusted EPS of 220 to 435 EPS. This must be guidance. Revenue of 9.84 billion, 902 billion expected. Target is reducing prices of over 2,000 items to quote help customers save this holiday season. Danaher Company posted 171 EPS versus 157 expected. So yeah, here's RTX, here's GM. Up instead. So we got GM. Here's Tesla. We got RTX dropping earnings too this morning. I'm up. Yeah, so GE Aerospace ended up posting 115 EPS versus 114 expected. Revenue of 9.84 billion versus 9.02 billion expected. Total orders came in at 12.6 billion. Adjusted revenue growth in the high single digits. Fiscal year adjusted EPS of 420 to 435 versus 425 expected. I'll put all those numbers up on the chat too. There's GE. What else dropped this morning? We also got a couple other ones, like Verizon drops at 7 in about 20 minutes. Lockheed Martin at 7:30. Did RTX come out? They're up a little bit, so I'm assuming they're out already. No, RTX is late. But we're waiting to see what RTX does here. They're up a little bit, but they just haven't really moved much. Yeah, it's cold over here. Yeah, I know I'm streaming a little bit early, but like I said, I might as well cover the earnings season. Here. All right. Yeah, on the NASDAQ, we've definitely been in a downtrend all morning. I'm trying to see if these earnings affect it. Let me see if I can change the view of trading view. I want to make it. Alright, I'm gonna start messing with some of these charts. See if I can build them up. AI is really good because, like, I can, let's see. Settings. There it is. Yeah, so we do have some other big earnings dropping today. So they added a bunch of other stuff for TOS. We're waiting for some more stuff to come out. The NASDAQ's bouncing back a little bit as well. $3M. There's General Motors. Here's $3M right here. So 3M's up a decent amount, and again, 3M posted 198 versus 190, so slightly better EPS. It wasn't like crazy better. Revenue of 6.1 versus 6.06. Fiscal year EPS of 730 when they previously guided for 730 and expected 726. Fiscal year revenue view expected 23.62 billion. So 3M did okay as well. Again, we got a couple other ones. The big one at Verizon at 7. Philip Morris. 655. All right. Yeah. We got the grid long ones. Yeah, so GM stock jumps after a big profit beat and raised outlook. So GM stock is up. If we look at that, there's 3M. Here's GM. GM's up to 520. It's a big gain. I don't know if I trust GM as a company. How do I get these little dots off the chart? But yeah. And then again, the NASDAQ dipped down a little bit this morning. You can see it at 20.4 thousand, 20.4K. What other earnings do we have this evening? ENPH, Texas Instruments, Baker Hughes. Nothing big, really. Yeah, well, so they changed the Discord sound. It sounds different, man. It's just different right now. It's just not the same. So like they did adjust the difference. There we go. Symbol. Let's see if we can mimic the volume body. Symbol, volume. Toss. What is the different color? Let's see. I'm trying to make my trading view charts look like toss. So it's kind of like a lightish gray. Looks like a white. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that works. Yeah, so look, check it out. So again, I've been trying to build this so that like the charts that I have on TOS kind of reflect trading view. I think I kind of got it, right? Like these are pretty close to TOS charts. Here's GM, here's RTX. Maybe the background's not perfect, but I guess the background on these charts is a little bit blue, right? No, it's black. It's more of like a charcoaly gray color here. I would say like this. Yeah. The GM is up there. It's at 520s. I'm trying to see if anything else came out. I'm still waiting on RTX is late. Why are these colors different? I like that better. Alright guys, we are up early. Gold all-time highs again in a few slacker teams. I don't remember which one. Yeah. Gold. Yeah, gold's been crazy though, man. It's just really all-time highs. How do I change the color here as well? I'm trying to build this color better. It looks like toss. I wanted to, I guess, like I end up liking this more. Yeah, I end up just liking this more. I think the colors that I have on TOS are a little different too, man. They're like the candles are brighter. colors I have are like this weird light green on top. It's like here. And then the red I have is kind of like an orangish almost, man. It's like a weird red. It's like a deep red like this is what I have. I mean, y'all let me know what y'all like more. This looks like Tosh right here. That's perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, I could set it to where it looks almost exactly like Tosh. Good. Because this is how I'm used to charts. You know, I've been using it for a minute. All right, let's fix this. Is it here, right? Here. 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 Yeah. Well, the green's a little off, but that's all right. All right, look at RTX. So RTX has to be out. Look at them falling down. They're at 125.70s here. 125.70s. Quest Diagnostics is out as well. I'm trying to look for RTX. I don't see RTX yet. RTX is moving. They agreed to more than a 280 million penalty in about a week ago. So they agreed to more than 950 million in penalties to settle Qatar bribery and contract fraud charges that they racked up somehow. Again, in about 9 minutes, we do have. Yeah, I don't mind hanging out with you guys and doing it early this morning occasionally, like we are today. We're waiting for RTX chart to show up. Oh wait. Yeah, there's RTX breaking down. I don't know why it keeps pivoting to a 5 minute. I want a 1 minute chart. GM is up. They posted earnings. RTX is falling down. Now look at it. It's at 125.70s. But I don't see the earnings out for RTX yet. I do see Quest. Quest Diagnostics posted 230 EPS versus 226 expected. Revenue of 2.49 billion versus 2.42 billion expected. Fiscal year EPS came in at 895. Fiscal year revenue view came in at 985. I'll put this up on chat. Well, I'll trade, but it just needs to be calculated. I'm not gonna just burn through trades just to do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, we are trending here on the downside. There's General Motors. Yeah, let me know if my sound is good, man. Is it my mic? Like, what is it about my mic? I've heard people complain about my mic the last few days. What is it about it? Like, help me out. Like, tell me what's wrong with it. Tell me what it sounds like and the problems with it. Is it just like, if I turn my head, it might cut out like this, right? Or if I turn my head, it might cut out like this. It's just because I'm not speaking into the mic. I'm trying to look around at all my different charts to see what's going on. But if something's wrong with it, let me know. You know, let me know. I got another mic right over there. I can swap out for it. Okay, cool. Gold, man. Again, gold's just ripping up. So look, I'll put up gold here. Gold's breaking highs. Look at gold. 2752 highs for gold. Look at gold up there. You know, gold, the lifetime high for gold is right here. Just to put this in perspective, the lifetime high is 2755. So this is the lifetime high, 2755.40, technically, right? So this is the lifetime high for gold right here. We'll put a line up. This is the lifetime high level for gold right here. That is all-time highs for gold. So gold's getting very close to all-time highs too. We're waiting on RTX, and Verizon drops in about 6 minutes too. Oh, we got 6 minutes. What's up, Sam? Yeah, we're up early. Y'all gotta understand, most of the market's not awake right now. You know, so like it is 6:55 market time. It's 5 something Texas time. And so it's just early. I used to start the stream up this late, but then I kind of realized that nobody's awake right now. And so maybe we'll get a different thing of viewers. I'm trying to cover earnings. One thing I do wish is that earnings didn't come out so freaking early in pre-market. Like I wish earnings came out in which like I could show, I could cover them. RTX still falling down. They're late for their earnings. The earnings call for RTX is supposed to be at 8:30, but they're late. RTX just posted. They posted 145. Here's the RTX earnings. RTX posted 145 EPS, adjusted EPS versus 134 expected. Revenue of 20.1 billion. They expected 19.85 expected. So they did post earnings. Here's the number right here. Tesla is tomorrow, Dr. Crypto. After the bell tomorrow is when Tesla is. So Tesla is Wednesday the 23rd at 4:10, I believe, is when the earnings are going to come out. We're going to stream it live like we always do. Hey, what's up, Triv? Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, we're awake. I'm trying over here, but... Alright, I want to save this now. Okay, cool. What's up, Dr. Crypto? Yeah, all good, man. Yeah, gold. We're gonna see if gold breaks all-time highs again. I think gold's got to eventually turn the other way. All right. So I do think gold has to eventually turn. RTX now falling down on these earnings. So RTX again posted 145, better than expected EPS, better than expected revenue of 20.1 as well, but they're still dropping. They were kind of dropping before these earnings came out. Invesco also dropped their numbers at 44 cents versus 43 cents. Revenue of 1.51 versus 1.11 billion. Adjusted net income of 199.8 million. Expected 195. So Invesco actually did okay, which is IVZ. I don't know a ton about Invesco as a company, but their earnings weren't bad. They just don't move, right? Like a lot of these are obscure. Silver hit 50 in 1980. $50 in 1980 is worth 191.32 today. Yeah, but that's not much appreciation for almost 50 years of price action. No, I mean going up what? Going up 3 point something X in 50 years is not the flex of the precious metal you think it is. Crash coming. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. Again, I'm not saying it's not good, right? I think it's actually underperformed gold, but just to put this into perspective, since 2000, right? Since 2000, gold has like 9x'd. You know what I mean? So gold has like outperformed that in a huge way over the past 20-25 years. So gold has 9x'd in 20 or 25 years versus silver 3 point something x'ing and 50, almost 46, 44 is what it is. So yeah, so it's not the big play in my opinion. Silver is, you know, it makes sense. Why? Because silver is heavily used in technology, and so there's an interest in keeping the price low. What do you think about quantum computing stocks like IO and Q? I think it's still really early for quantum stocks, but I think there's some value in them. I just think it's really early. And so I think it's too early to really tell how big they're going to be. But yeah, I think they're interesting for sure. You know, and if you don't know what quantum computing is, I'll break it down. It's super interesting. It's basically supercomputers, like super high-powered computers. Quantum computers, instead of bits, use qubits, or quantum bits is what they call them. The major difference is that qubits can exist in multiple states at once thanks to quantum principles like superposition and entanglement, versus classical computers, which we use today, and they're based on regular bits, which are the smallest unit of information. Each bit can either be 0 or 1, which is binary. And every task or calculation on a classical computer is done by manipulating these bits in sequences. Again, quantum computing use qubits. They can exist in multiple states at once, and so they're just a little bit more powerful in that regard. Big quantum principles are superposition. Like in classical computing, a bit is either 0 or 1. In quantum computing, a qubit can be both 0 and 1 simultaneously. It's called superposition. It allows them to perform many calculations while they're doing other things, like simultaneously calculate all these different things, giving them potential for massive parallel processing. So in terms of processing power, quantum computers are leagues above everything else because they can process data simultaneously while doing other things, right? Versus your computer, which is very like, we do this, then we do this, then we do this, then we do this. With a quantum computing, they can calculate it all simultaneously, and it's just different. Now, you might say, you might think, it doesn't feel like my computer has to take turns. That's because it's happening so quickly. It's making decisions and digesting information so quickly, but you just got to think about the difference versus your computer is already very quick to process information, even if it's in order and not simultaneous. But what quantum computings allow is for you to do it at the same time, and that's a powerful thing. So yeah, entanglement is another huge principle of quantum computing and principles. When qubits become entangled, the state of one qubit is directly related to the state of another, no matter how far apart they are. This means changes to one qubit can instantaneously affect the other, creating a kind of instant communication between qubits. Quantum inference. Quantum computers use inference to combine the effects of all possible computations and select the best result. Inference amplifies the correct answer and cancels out the incorrect one, which help them solve complex problems faster. So anyways, point is, quantum computing isn't useful for everything, but it's expected to revolutionize fields like cryptography, drug discovery, so they can simulate molecules and chemical reactions at the quantum level, helping research develop new drugs, materials much faster. They optimize in logistics, finance, machine learning. Quantum computing could quickly find the best solution. AI. And so, yeah, there's a lot of places they want to use this. We're not using quantum computers everywhere because they're super delicate. Even the smallest disturbances like noise or temperature can disrupt their quantum state, so they're just really fragile. Error correction. Quantum computers require complex error correction systems to maintain accuracy, which is still being developed, and scalability. So it's just hard to get them all to work. But eventually we're going to figure it out, and it's going to be like a powerful thing. Anyways, we got Verizon dropping earnings now. Philip Morris posted numbers as well. We'll cover Philip Morris's data. Philip Morris ended up posting 191. They expected 180s. Revenue of $9.9 billion. Philip Morris is PM. They're gapping up there at 121s right now. We'll put the numbers up on screen. We also have Verizon, Sherwin-Williams, Fisker. There's Philip Morris. We also have Sherwin-Williams here that we're posting. We also have, I thought it was Fisker, but it's not. It's Fiserv. Alright, guys. So we're waiting on Verizon, man. I don't know if Verizon's just late or they're just not showing up on my end. Alright, Verizon is out. They posted Verizon posted bad results here. Look at Verizon. Hold on, chat. Yeah, look at Verizon. They posted bad results. I could tell they were going to drop before I even looked at the chart because these were Verizon's numbers. They posted 119, which was a slight beat in EPS, a very slight beat, but they missed sales. And so they missed sales and only had a slight beat in EPS, and that's generally not good. No, I don't ever buy ahead of earnings, really. Not really. It just doesn't make any sense to. Where again, there's Verizon dropping down. RTX did bounce back a little bit here, though. All right, let me make sure we can fix this here. Alright. So again, Verizon's down. RTX bounced back a little bit. Let's make sure you guys see this. Yes, Verizon reaffirmed their 2024 guidance. Wireless revenue growth at 3.5%, adjusted EPS of 470, capex at 17.75. No, Jets. No, they're not. So there's Verizon. Yeah, Verizon's still trying here, but they're down. Understandably so. They just posted bad results. We had a gang of other stuff coming out. Sherwin-Williams posted better than expected EPS, worse than expected revenue. FI posted 230s versus 226, revenue of 5.21 billion. So, I'm still trying to get. I'm asking AI how to get real-time data. Yeah. All right, let's see how good AI does. So I asked AI how to get real-time data from them. So, all right. So did we have a new dock worker strike? Or is this wrong again? Yeah, so this is not even right. So this is, I asked AI to post the top stock market headlines for today, October 22nd, and it said the dock workers are beginning a massive strike, which isn't true from my understanding. Nike is going to report declining Q1 results. When does Nike report? Nike doesn't report until December. When was the last time they posted? Let me see. Maybe they did show up today. Verizon posts a subscriber beat and says pricing moves are paying off. When did Nike report anyway? It says Nike doesn't report until December 31st, which means they had to report recently, right? Here's Nike. basically yelling at AI in the background. Basically said check Bloomberg. It's probably right, dude. I should probably not even look at them now. Alright, so they have the Bloomberg Tech Summit that's going on right now, I think. Let me see. Curious to see how that's going to affect everything. Yeah, the dock worker strike ended. I'm trying to gather accurate information, but it's so difficult. Bloomberg apparently has some type of tech summit going on.
Legislation will move at the federal level. At the state level, there's also some friction, which was recently punctuated when California's governor vetoed a bill that wouldn't have imposed some safety requirement on AI.
Yeah, basically says the U.S. is unwilling or unable to act on AI. Status of U.S. AI regulatory efforts. The federal AI legislation is stalled and prospects are likely to improve after election. Regulation at the state level is also uncertain following a recent veto by California Gov of a bill that would have imposed safety requirements on AI companies. You know, here's the thing though, right? So I think a lot of these big tech companies like Bloomberg and like others are panicking because of AI. Why are they panicking? They're panicking because they understand AI might come eat their lunch, if that makes sense, right? So AI is super powerful at this point in time. They're crazy powerful, crazy useful. They're worried that AI is going to be like that, like take away their business, and understandably so. I mean, a lot of industries should be worried about AI taking their business away. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I don't think we're anywhere close to that. But I think that's where a lot of the stuff where they're like regulated. I worry about too much regulation as well, right? Like too much regulation is not necessarily good either. So yeah, too much regulation is bad as well. I'm looking at Invesco. There's some ETFs and stuff. But where's Disney at right now? Disney's still at 96. Yeah. Let's see what other news we got. Markets. So stock futures are sliding with rate cut past this risk. Let's see what the rate cut likelihood is today. So we got 16 days, we got 2 weeks, still at a roughly 90-10 split for rate cuts decisions here. Most people still expecting a 25 basis point cut. And again, that's good for really, like, just to put this in perspective so you guys understand. So this is good right here, right? So this here is good for like lenders, banks, real estate agents, people who want to buy a home, all that stuff. This is good if you dislike inflation, right? So this will do more work to inflation, but ultimately keep like anything that requires lending down, and that certainly includes real estate, right? Like real estate is dependent on lending being cheap, and so if you know, so this is basically this decision here, this the one that's at 90%. This is basically expecting a 0.25% cut, right? So they're talking about bringing interest rates down 0.25%. And when we look at this, the Fed funds graph, here's basically the federal funds rate in a nutshell. Like, let me get all this stuff out the way. So basically, right now, we're overwhelmingly expecting 25 basis point cuts. Now, next week is a really busy week, right? So we did dip down a little bit. If I put like a 1 year chart up, so we paused for like a year straight, and then we finally started coming back down. But it's important for people to understand, like, look, rates can go down some, but you don't want them to go down too much. All right, what's up, South? What's up, man? All right, guys. Where can I go here? Yeah, so Target is going to lower prices of 2,000 items ahead of the holiday season. They said they're doing it to attract bargain hunting shoppers during the holiday season, they said on Tuesday. I think you're going to have a lot of like retail arbitrage traders. If you don't know what retail arbitrage, not traders, I guess I call it traders, but if you don't know what retail arbitrage is, retail arbitrage is when you, like, you have there's scanners that you can scan any product with. You can scan toys, you can scan all kind of stuff with it. And what they allow you to do is, look at Verizon coming down here. So Verizon breaking down, Nike breaking down. We're kind of looking at Target. Gold futures still pretty close to lifetime highs. I'm surprised Target's not up more on this news. But anyways, retail arbitrage, they basically go scan the barcode and they see the lowest price something's selling for on Amazon. Right, so an example of this, if I find a toy that on Amazon the lowest price it's selling for is $75 and Target's selling it for $50, then I know I could buy 3, 4, 5 of those toys and make $200 selling it on the internet. Right, and that's basically what retail arbitrage is. Now, it's kind of difficult. There's some restrictions for sellers, and you also have to understand, like, Amazon's taking their cut, right? So Amazon's going to take their cut anyway, so it's going to be kind of hard to make too much money doing it, but you can make a quick, easy 3, 4, 5% on your money, and that's kind of, it's a percentage game. It's very similar to trading in that regard, where it's a percentage game. Like, you want to try to get 10, 20, 30% on your products. Now, Amazon's going to take their piece, but that's what retail arbitrage is, basically. I don't ever do it. I don't have the time for it. It's a lot of work. But yeah. They cut rates when the economy and jobs are doing bad, but they're painting such a rosy picture and then still cutting rates. Yeah, but they cut rates not always. It's not always the case where jobs are bad. Like, jobs have been good. Right, labor market's been decent, and we can see that reflected in the payroll numbers that we got a couple weeks ago. So it's not always when they're bad. Sometimes they do it, like, again, they did this with the federal funds rate. So they raised the rate, right? With the federal funds rate, they propped this rate up. Let me get a custom date here. We'll go back to like 2022, and you can kind of see, yeah. So they raised rates aggressively, which is kind of the opposite of cutting rates, right? They raised rates aggressively, and then they paused rates at these really high levels for a year straight, right? And then they decided to cut them a very small amount. So I don't know if it's fair to say, oh, well, they only cut it when it's the end of the world, when the market's about to crash. I don't think that's fair. I think they didn't cut it by, like, you can still see we're still up drastically in terms of rates since October of 2022. And so it's not like the rate graph is going like this, you know, longer term. And so they're going to bring rates down eventually. You know, it's not something in which they're going to keep them there forever, right? They're going to bring rates down eventually. Keeping rates high for too long is kind of like picking up pennies in front of a train track, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is it's kind of like you can do it, but eventually the train's going to come and it's going to hit you, you know? And so if you keep rates too high for too long, it'll cause economic weakness, right? And so I guess the point is, like, you're saying they're cutting rates because of economic weakness. And what I'm saying is that they're cutting rates to try to avoid economic weakness, because if you keep rates too high for too long. But again, it all depends on the payroll data. It depends on the payroll data. It depends on the numbers. You know, here's gold. Like I said, gold has been pushing up, like making big moves. And so, I don't know. I think you have to think about it in that regard. Yeah, I was never retail arbitrage. I used to sell used books, right? Used books was a powerful business. It really was. It's still probably pretty good. I haven't done it in years, and it's just not enough money for me. I'm not even trying to sound like arrogant when I say that. It's just not enough money, you know? Like, there's not enough money in it. In order to really scale it big, you gotta you gotta get free books and then sell them. You know what I mean? Like, in order to really scale them big, you gotta get free books, sell them for free. Yeah, if you use my link, you'll get the discount. And thank you. The U.S. reduced rates for arbitrage reasons. Risk-free profit for many institutions. Yeah, I mean, it's time to bring rates down, I think. Alright guys, so let's see, code editor. You know, like, I know how to build sites on WordPress, but I haven't done it in a minute. Let's say block page. There's the code. Alright, so gold pulling back a little bit. I want to put the S&P or the NASDAQ up here. So we'll put the NASDAQ. Here's the NQ. NQ rebounding a little bit after downtrending essentially all morning. I might short like a longer term trade here. So I might take like a longer term trade short. Where's the trading symbol? I don't know what I did. Here, let me figure this out. I'm still kind of learning. I gotta reset this layout to better. Yeah, let me get some of this stuff out the way. I'll get the DOM out the way. I know you can trade with the DOM. It's still something I gotta learn how to do. There we go. I don't really want this either. I just want to scroll this up here, maybe. Crunch it. Pull this down. Make sure you guys can see it. But there's the NASDAQ bouncing up some too. I'd rather switch sides of this. We'll pull that up later. I can also put like two charts up here, I guess. There's the NASDAQ. And then here we could probably put up like gold, right? Gold's breaking down. I don't want to see it auto. NASDAQ's bouncing back though. Part of me wants to short it. I guess we will. It's a little early to short, but that's okay. I'm gonna do one micro contract here. I don't really want to take a big position, but shorting it here is kind of trading with the trend, I would say. We'll just let it sit and try to let it longer term. So we're red, slightly red. I would love to put the trading window on the bottom, and I know it's customizable in that regard where I can. But we'll keep it down there for now. Hey, what's up? What's up, chat? Good morning. Silver's taking off. Yeah, silver's going up with gold though. It's definitely not the highest performing asset this year versus like gold. I don't know, actually, you might be right. Let me see. So here's 2024 right here. Gold is up from $24 to $34. So it's up a little bit under 50% this year. Gold this year so far is up from 2,100 to 2,700. So yeah, it's up more than gold actually this year. So that's good. Again, I'm not going to add to this. I'm just going to stay one position here. Nike, Target. Do we have any other big earnings this morning? Let me see. I don't think so. Not any that aren't out already. Lockheed Martin drops at 7:30 in 1 minute. So we'll see what that does. Yeah, I do see silver up. Alright, so we got the HTML side in there. Now how do we add it? Alright, so we're back to almost green here. We're slightly green. I could add a little bit more to it. Chat GPT. Alright, so we're back down again. I don't think I want to add to it. It's still too early. But I do want to take like a longer term trade. I think we're in a downward trend. I think we've rebounded a lot leading up to this downward trend. If we look at it here, I'm trying to take longer term trades. We made money yesterday. But I'm trying to take longer term trades. And again, this is Top Step X here, chat. So we are trading on Top Step X. But yeah, I'm trying to trade a longer term trend here, which you can kind of see right here. And so we're at the top of that trend line. That's what we're targeting here. I could add a little bit more, but here's the trend we're focusing on. We did have a lot of big earnings out. Yeah, is it cold outside today? Yeah, I know I have this huge robe on. So my wife trained jiu-jitsu yesterday with everybody. It was fun. So my wife's starting to learn it. Not here in Austin. Let's see what it's like. Temperature. It's 65 degrees right now, so it's really not that bad. All right, so now we're green on the trade, and again, we're just taking a longer term trade here. If we have some success with this, we will scale up to take longer term trades. But again, we're using Top Step X, and so if you want to check out Top Step X, they are an affiliate of mine. I'm biased, of course, because I get paid by them, but they're a great company, honestly. If you want to learn to day trade, right? And you can kind of see the highest percentage way, like I scalp a lot, but the highest percentage way is just to attack ranges long term. And again, on Top Step, there's no PDT rule. So if you want to day trade, a lot of traders get it in their head that they need to fund their own account in stocks and risk that. I'm here to tell you, you're probably going to lose. Like if you try to do that, you're probably going to lose. That's just the truth, right? Almost all day traders lose, and if you risk thousands, you're going to probably lose thousands of dollars in the beginning. Limit your risk with Top Step. Get your feet wet. See what day trading's about in futures. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade short, buy market, sell market. The patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns, and really what you see me trading here is the NASDAQ 100 index fund. So it's an index fund made up of all the largest stocks in the world. It moves with a lot of blue chip stocks. You can day trade it. They give you a demo. Test your skill with the demo. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, it's a $49 a month monthly subscription for the base one, and there's more expensive ones if you want more risk as well and you want a larger funded account. If you pass it, you get a 90% split anyway, which is similar to funding yourself. The risk is just noticeably less, and it's just the best way to learn how to day trade, right? You can learn, trade. If you fail, you know, it's not the end of the world. If you pass it, you get a 90% split. They've paid out over $40 million. And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, silver, some currencies. And it's just the best way to learn how to day trade. But again, I'm biased. They're a sponsor of mine, but they're just really useful. It's really useful because it gives you some risk, right? You still have to learn how to trade under pressure. You're still risking something. You're just not risking $5, $6, $10, $20,000 like a lot of new traders are. And most day traders lose. And to be blunt, it's a lot cheaper to lose here. You know, understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. All that good stuff. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. A lot of stuff there. Understand all of it. Understand CFTC 4.41. All that good stuff. And yeah. All right, so we're still green. I'm a little tempted to add to this just because we're kind of riding this longer term trend here. But I think I'm just going to wait. All right, Amazon at 188. We're looking at that. Hey, what's up, Joe? 62 in New Orleans. John, once you get a funded account, can you trade in it whatever you want, or are you bound to their listed acceptable trades? I mean, what do you mean by that? I mean, you can trade mostly how you want. Like, there's some restrictions, like you can't trade off the spread. Like, there's a couple restrictions that are reasonable, but aside from, and there's I think there's an hour every day where you can't trade at the end of the day. But outside, it might be like a 5-minute period. Somebody else might be. I never trade around then, so I'm not really sure. But there's some restrictions on like the strategies you can use. But outside of that, you can trade whenever you want as long as it's within the allowable time frame. But I would check with their site and check everything with them first. No options on options. No, this is only futures contract. These are only futures trades. All right, so we are breaking down a little bit. We're up a little bit here. A lot of big earnings. So we had earnings for a lot of these companies out. So we're up 750. I'm probably gonna have to start to add some to this. I'm trying to take advantage of the range, and I'll go ahead and add some to this position here, just based off of being up enough to where I can. I'll add 2 contracts here. See if we can break down some more. I like the trade, and as I say that, it turns against me, which is all right. Well, there's no commissions. There's a small amount of fees per trade. It's 74 cents in fees per micro contract. So if you look at this, it's 74 cents in fees per trade, which is very small, right? That's not a lot at all. 74 cents in fees is better than you're going to get almost anywhere else. Hey, thank you, Joe. Yeah, hit that like button, chat. We appreciate it. Yeah, we're trying to stream a little bit early. We got some Target news. What else we got going on right now, chat? Tesla. Where's Tesla at this morning? See, I like this. This is like really similar to TOS now. Tesla's still down to 217, still looking kind of weak. It's like 150 or something like that. Overall, like, look, I've been there, man. Every day trader in the beginning, almost every day trader. I'm not gonna say every day trader. Some traders get lucky. A large majority of day traders lose in the beginning. A large majority of day traders lose money in the beginning. It's just kind of inevitable. Most day traders lose money, right? You can either risk money yourself, like put up the money yourself and risk that, which is incredibly unreasonable. I think almost all day traders lose. It makes no sense just trying to look cool in markets. Or you could try a funded account program. Most day traders are still going to lose, right? Because most day traders lose regardless of where they go. It's just a lot cheaper on Top Step. Problem is for me, I haven't traded futures. Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. But I think if you try to day trade, futures is probably where you want to go anyway, right? The futures market, there's no PDT rule. So you don't need 25 grand to day trade futures, right? And that's the powerful thing about it. I know, like, personally, I went from penny stocks. To day trading blue chips. And then I went from day trading blue chips to starting to I traded the SPY directly or the QQQ directly, right? And then I went from trading those to saying, hey, well, I can just trade futures and have a much smaller account, risk much less trading futures. And so I went from them to trading futures. And so eventually I evolved towards that, so I did kind of evolve towards all that stuff. All right, so we finally got a little breakdown here. I think I'm going to let it go some more. I'm trying to take longer term day trades and just attack the ranges here. So that's what we're trying to do. We'll probably scale up our size in some of these trades too. But so far, so good. Yeah, I would start with micro contracts, and I think the edge is huge because there's zero commissions here with micros. There we go. So we're going to take half off, just lock in some profit there, protect our trade, and let the rest work for us here. Just taking a longer term range bound trade. Yeah, the futures market, guys, was originally created to... No, futures and options are different. Futures were originally created to give farmers a way to lock in prices of their crops because they would grow crops, and when it came time to yield those crops, the prices fluctuated so much to where it wasn't profitable. They didn't know how much they were going to get for their crops before they yielded them. And so what they started doing is selling contracts, locking in the price of their crops to speculative investors, and they called them futures contracts because they were betting on future prices of commodities, right? So they called them futures. And so there's less red tape in futures because, eventually the futures market industry grew to where now it's huge, it's completely massive. And, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, gold, silver, all these different commodities, cattle prices, the Russell, some currencies on top step. And so, it's grown so much in that period of time. Don't sell your video. I started trading. Ooh, look at this beautiful drop. We'll take it so far. I'm going to add to this now since we're very green in the trade. Maybe it's a bad decision, but I still think we're in that downward trend that we're betting on. I'm changing my system up a little bit. I've attacked reversals a lot, but I think the best thing to do now is to attack trends. I can still attack extension, but extension in the right trend direction, I think, is what I should do. And at this point, we do have a cushion now, so we'll see if we can break down a little bit more. You're right, most lost a lot. I mean, it's easy to take what I said out of context. What I said is that if you're brand new as a trader and you make money, it's probably luck, right? Most day traders lose. Beginner's luck can be a toxic thing for traders too, because every day trader wants to think they're the new Warren Buffett once they get a couple wins under their belt. The problem is none of them are, and they almost all lose money. All right, I'm gonna go and take another piece of that off. So we just locked it in. So at this point in time, we got some profit on the trade. It's really early in pre-market. So we'll see if we can break down a little bit. We made 20 bucks. We're okay with that. And this is the beautiful part about Top Step X, is that there's no PDT rule where I can do this and there's no fees. Basically, there's basically no fees. Or there's basically no commission. That's what I meant to say. All right, so we got another breakdown here. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this here. So we made a nice little gain shorting the top of that range. I think we probably could have held it longer too, because we're looking at the longer term trend that you can kind of see here. And so I think we probably could have held it longer too. I mean, it can work under the right conditions, Martin. Like the VY bounce works when anything is trending, right? So an example of that is, let me put the VWAP up on this chart. So here's the VWAP here. I don't want the upper and lower bands. I think I fixed one on here. We'll have to mess with it later, but yeah, it can work. I want the VWAP with no bands. So the VWAP auto anchored. But yeah, here's the volume weighted average price. So the VWAP can work, the fade can work. So the blue line is the VWAP. The fade can work because anything that's trending, like Tesla trending here, you know, right? The VWAP fade worked here and here. So the fade can work regardless of the chart, right? You just got to make sure to put it up. Tesla down there though. Some of my favorite indicators are just basic trends here though, like this. I'm one of the best traders in the world. Don't brag, I'm just telling the truth. Congrats, man. This will be a good time to go long because it'll hit the top of the channel in what? Yeah, there's Tesla. Yeah, I'll have to fix my Top Step X charting. It's not the best. Top Step X has great charting. My charting's not the best. I gotta set up my system here a little bit better, I think. Right? But we're doing okay. Top Step X is super powerful. I like it, but I gotta fix my system a little bit more. Is the music loud for y'all relative to my voice chat? Is it? If it is, let me know. So we're breaking down a little bit now. So we're still breaking down a little bit. We're right in the middle of the range, though. I don't want to attack this. I don't want to trade this. So we're right in the middle of the range. We're slightly up. still flushing down some. If we get down to a reasonable enough level, I will buy it. I'm also probably going to start taking regular NASDAQ trades. John's the third best in the world. Definitely top 3-ish. Yeah. Solana going higher, is it really? Alright, so Tesla's getting back up there. I'm excited for Tesla earnings tomorrow, man. Tesla earnings tomorrow should be interesting. Chop this out. Does it look like everything's mostly out right now? All right, so yeah, big earnings morning with Verizon, 3M, GE, GM, all releasing earnings. Lockheed Martin, RTX. So a lot of companies beat. Denny's missed. Philip Morris, PM, DGX, Quest Diagnostics. Alright, so we're still right in the middle of the range. The problem when you're attacking trends is, like, you can see we're right in this middle range here. And I think this middle range is a dangerous spot. How's Apple looking? Apple was breaking highs recently, right? Yeah. So Apple is at 235s right now. Lifetime highs on Apple. If I pull Apple chart up. You know, lifetime highs on Apple. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, so lifetime highs on Apple are up here, right around 237s. So we're still a few bucks away from lifetime highs on Apple. We still got a long way to go. Is the music too loud, chat? Is it? I can turn it down here. I got you guys. Is that better? That should be a little bit better. I hear a couple people saying that. Ford at 1080s. A little bit, yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I see BIVI. It's a penny stock, though. I'm not really interested in buying up some of these crap penny stock companies, though. Like, most of them are just not very good. Right? These penny stock companies, like, most of them are just not good companies. Okay, yeah, we turned the music down a little bit. So we bounced right at the middle round of the trend here. again, you can put up some other stuff. We did have like Verizon, RTX posted earnings today. RTX ended up rebounding all the way back up. Look at it. So, does anybody use 3-minute charts? All right, chat. So I want to mess with the theme here. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, no, I usually have NVIDIA. I'll put NVIDIA up. Well, we've got the regular NASDAQ on the left side. Here's NVIDIA. NVIDIA up to 144s, man. I didn't even realize NVIDIA was breaking highs, man. Look at NVIDIA. So this thing's breaking lifetime highs this morning. I didn't even notice. That's crazy. Look at NVIDIA up there, man. So NVIDIA's doing things this morning. That's probably what's dragging markets up with us. Don't fight the trend. Well, the trend so far is on the downside if we look at the longer term trend here, which is what I've been using this morning. So I definitely think this is down. I kind of have to wait and see if we get some better movement here, but I just got to wait, I think. Too much hype? I don't know if it's too much. It's just, we got to wait for it. NVIDIA now 30% of my portfolio. Run is so overweight, but the bull thesis is still intact. Yeah. Alright, so Facebook owner Meta restarts facial recognition tech and celeb bait crackdown. So 3 years after Meta shut down facial recognition software on Facebook amid a groundswell of privacy and regulatory pushback, they now said on Tuesday it's testing the service again as part of a crackdown on basically like AI scams. Meta said it will enroll about 50,000 public figures in a trial which involves automatically comparing their Facebook photos with their used images and suspected scam advertisements. I think this is honestly good. I think this is honestly pretty good. The reason I think this is good is because I have seen so many fake Elons, so many fake politicians, so many fake people in general, right? And what they'll do is they'll do something like this, right? They'll put a public figure out there on the world, right? They'll put a public figure out there and they will say things like, they'll put a public figure out there, and if I've got a product, say I've got a product for John's Say I got a product for Steve's Coffee. All right. They'll put like Elon or some other public figure and they'll be like, Steve's Coffee is the greatest coffee of all time. I drink Steve's Coffee every morning before I ride in my Tesla, you know. Steve's Coffee is what powers our FSD, you know, and ridiculous stuff like that. That's just, it's just obviously it's just kind of a joke example, but that's what they do. And they advertise their own scammy products, and then they usually just try to scam people into buying some nonsense, right? And they use public figures and AI to do it, right? And this has become incredibly prevalent on the internet right now. And so I think this is probably a good thing because it stops people from manipulating people. You see it with like really like Joe Rogan a lot. Like you see it a lot with Joe Rogan. Tesla stock, Lily, down at the trend overall in the market. Yeah, I mean the trend's down, but I also am hesitant to short it. We're kind of middle range here, so I gotta wait for us to get out of this middle range first. We're green on the day. We did make some money on the day. We just gotta wait to see some better action, I think, right? So we did make a little bit, but we just gotta wait for some better price action, I think, you know? Apple at 234. So Apple just cracked low. So Apple is one of the stocks that are kind of dragging us down some here. And again, there's Nvidia on the top right. Dude, I want like Boeing and some other stuff up too, but I want to be able to look at Nvidia here. Look at Nvidia's go. Look at Nvidia go. I'm gonna put a 1 minute chart up. Yeah, look at Nvidia up to 144, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, you know, older people are so susceptible to that type of stuff, man. Like, you get people who are just super... And I'm not talking about, like, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds. I'm talking about, like, 70, 80-year-olds. Like, they're just really susceptible to that type of stuff, right? They don't know any better. They don't understand how powerful technology has gotten. You know, like, I think, like, the speed at which you think goes down over time as you get older and older. And I think the people that fall for it the most, unfortunately, are the older populations, right? Because they are just, you know, especially like these investment scams that you see a lot, like a lot of old people fall for it, unfortunately. What's up, Leland? You're a good salesman, John. I want to buy Steve's Coffee in the world. I mean, it is the greatest coffee of all time ever in the world. Steve's Coffee, top 3 coffee beans ever. Apple breaking lows, though, guys. Apple's breaking lows. Market's kind of pushing higher. I'm going to put one chart up here, and I'm going to just put up Nvidia here. Look at Nvidia, man. Nvidia's up. If Nvidia can hold up here, it's going to break lifetime highs at the opening bell. Yeah, my grandma got a smartphone, and once a week I have to clear out her notifications because she thinks she's done something wrong. Yeah, for sure. I have to help in-laws and other people, too, with their social media. My dad's the type who just never uses it. So my dad just doesn't use social media. My dad's the type that just avoids it altogether, which I can respect, right? But I've got other, like, in-laws and family that don't. And they, yeah, they need help. And that's okay. I get it. You know, I get it. Yeah, the WhatsApp scammers are relentless, bro. They're the bad ones, too. They're the ones that are the most evil, I think. I just think, like, if you find yourself ripping off old ladies in WhatsApp, like, regardless of where you live, regardless of how much you make, if that's what you find yourself doing throughout life, somewhere you failed, you know. Like if that's your job and you've somehow gotten to this point in life where you're just scamming old ladies on WhatsApp, somewhere you failed, you know. But yeah, my wife trained jujitsu with me. So did my daughter. You know, my wife has the only rule my wife has is she's not rolling with any men except for me, right? And I can respect that rule. You know, so like she wants to learn, but she doesn't want to roll with any other men, and I can respect that, you know. And she did pretty good. She moved really well. My daughter and my wife had a sparring session on Sunday because we've been doing like private lessons. And so my daughter has been training for like a couple months, like off and on. Like really, my daughter's been training for about a year off and on, but hasn't really trained a lot. She's probably been to like 7 classes. And my wife had never trained ever before, but they both know some basic things that I've taught them about jiu-jitsu. Look at the market push up here, guys. So we're watching Nvidia try to push up as well. We're watching the NASDAQ get to the top of the range of this trend here, which I might short it. We're going to keep it small. We're going to keep it light. We're going to jump into 2 contracts here. We're going to see if we dip down first after entering this position or whether we go up more and we add to this contract here on the upside. So we'll add 2 contracts here now. Kind of a breakout though. We might be buying a breakout here or shorting a breakout. Let's see. Luckily we're up about 25-30 bucks already. So we already have some gains here. And we're just trying to target this because it's the top of the range and it's a longer term trade. Nvidia is breaking highs though, which I do not like at all. Look at Nvidia go up there. We are getting some downward pressure though. So it's not the worst. We're only down 10 bucks, 15 bucks. Blaze, Gatorade sucks by water. Look at this old picture of me. I remember this picture. Yeah. This is what the scammers think, guys. I don't know if anybody saw this. So the scammers, right, where this joke comes from is that the scammers send me emails, right? They send me emails and they say, hey, John, you know, this is Aquafina messaging you. Here at Aquafina, we love, apparently, the stock market, you know, and we think your audience, John, at Beginner Trading would be prime customers for Aquafina water. We actually had another one try to pretend they were San Pellegrino, you know, and they were like, we've been watching your content and we love it. And we would like to offer you a partnership deal from Aquafina, right? Total BS nonsense. Like these are scammers hoping I'm desperate enough to fall for it. And again, it's so ridiculous of a thing, right? Whoever came up with this scam idea is a freaking dummy, because the likelihood that Aquafina would watch John at Beginner Trading is so freaking low. Like I would have any type of edge selling water to you guys. Like you guys would ever be like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to go to Walmart. I'm not going to go to Kroger. I'm not going to go to, you know, wherever to buy my water. I'm going to buy it and get it shipped here from John at Beginner Trading. What a ridiculous thought, right? What a ridiculous thought. But the scammers are just, they don't seem to be the smartest, the sharpest tools in the shed, so to speak. And instead, they think it's a reasonable email. And again, what they're hoping for is they're hoping for people who are just so desperate. Like if you're a really small YouTuber, right? Which luckily, like I'm not the biggest, but I'm definitely not small enough to where I fall for this stuff. If you're a really small YouTuber, you want to believe that you got sponsors, right? Like when I remember when I first started my channel and I had like a couple thousand subscribers, I wanted sponsors. Over time, you learn affiliates pay much more, right? But that's a different story. But anyways, the point is they send me these nonsense emails. Another one tried to pretend to be Sony, like Sony themselves is trying to sponsor me. Just ridiculous, right? And so I'm from Louisiana, and so the natural catchphrase was Gatorade sucks, John, like water's better, buy John's water, you know. And so somebody created this. Look at the old picture of me here. Top 3 water salesman ever in the world for sure. Hey, you know. Buy water. John's water. Look at the beardless John, man. I need to shave that beard. It's almost time. All right, NVIDIA's rip it up, guys. I'm in 2 contracts. You know, the market hasn't really followed it up. I'm hoping it's not just a delayed reaction here. And I'm hoping we're at the top of this trend line and we start to come back down because we are at the very top of this trend line. I do want to take some larger size though. So I'll go ahead and add, see if it helps me here. Yeah, now we're almost flat. Now we're green. Hey, there we go. We're gonna immediately take half off. What? What a terrible fill. It gave me a horrible fill there, guys. It's okay. I'll probably add back to this if we can get into profit. There we go. Yeah, we'll add our size right back. 2 contracts. All right, take another piece off there, lock it in. So now we're up about $20 in the trade overall, and we're still in this position here. But we got a cushion now, at the very least. We got a cushion. We can let it work. We might add some more to it. All right, now we're green. Yeah, just dumb salesman is the only thing I can really think of, guys. It's just like, you know, like a better way to get it. Like there's better ways to do it. I don't want to teach the scammers who are obviously kind of low IQ the right way to do it. A lot of them don't realize if you say kindly, it's a huge red flag, right? A huge red flag. The reason for that is because they're trying to pretend to be in the US, and people in the US very, very rarely ever say kindly. But people in the US very say kindly, go to this email, right? It's usually people overseas. And so if you say kindly in an email, that's a huge red flag as well. So if somebody emails you and it's fine if they're overseas, but if they claim to be US and they say that, it's usually, you know, scammers. Yeah, we do have some Fed members speaking today as well here, chat. So we do have some Fed members speaking. So we're up again. We've been trading trends all morning, and honestly, we've been doing pretty well. So yeah, today all we got is Patrick Harker speaking at 10 a.m. Not the biggest speech. But that's all right. Again, we're still just attacking this downtrend that we drew earlier. We're up about $20 already. So even if we lose, we're going to be fine, most likely. We'll see what NVIDIA's got here, though. NVIDIA's right at the top of the range. I could add to this one, too, if I want to fix it. All right, we're going to add it right back, fix the average here. 2 contracts. There we go. Yeah, basically, that's true, Fu. That's basically true. Well, I think kindly is just a very specific speech pattern that people in the U.S. don't use. People in the U.S. will say, hey, how you doing? You know, one of my good friends in jiu-jitsu is a guy named JB. He's from South Korea, and so he does not speak good English at all. His English is good. Okay, let me clarify. JB, if you're listening, you actually have pretty good English. You know, but the U.S. is really slang heavy, and so, you know, the slang is what gets people, because like U.S. is very slang heavy. We use a lot of slang. Like I can say I'm fixing to go to the store, right? And people might not understand what that means. Like I'm fixing to do this. I'm fixing. Like in the South, we say, hey, I'm fixing to go to the store. Hey, I'm about to go to the store. You know, it's a very common saying here, and so it just varies. But he does a great job. Super nice guy. I do Sunday jiu-jitsu lessons, and he shows up at 8 a.m. every Sunday helping me out with jiu-jitsu. Just out of the kindness. I've offered to pay him. He says no, he's just being nice. He's being a good friend. And so, shout out to JB. Good friend. You know. Anyways, back to trading. All right, so we're shorting the top of this range. It's the very top of the range here. Long-term trend. We're up about $20 already. And I think if I'm going to trade earlier in pre-market like I've been doing today, this is the right way, right? Because I've gotten lost trying to scalp early in pre-market. I just don't think that's the favorable move. I think trend-wise, this is the right way to do it. Even if I lose here, we're still flat, which is fine. Honestly, a big rip up. I'm going to have to cut this very soon. Definitely got some momentum showing up. We break the top of this candle, I gotta cut it. So we know our exit right now. Yeah, we're gonna cut out. Oh, we only got one out. Okay. Yeah, so we're flat on that trade overall. We just got a big rip up over the trend line. We still might reject at the top of this. Like, you could also see it could be here for sure. But I'm gonna just wait, I think. I'm finna do something. Yeah, we say a lot of like really slang heavy stuff. Like, I'm about to go to the store. I'm fixing to go do this. Nah, bro. Like, we use nah a lot, N-A-H. There's just a lot of slang in the U.S., which is good. It's from what I hear, the English is very difficult to learn, especially like American English. But I might be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, I saw Sherwin-Williams. This is SHW. It just had bad earnings. It gapped down some. It's bouncing back some. Yeah, we're starting to trend upward now too. I see, bet was past my time, right? So when I was a young person, people saying bet, like, hey, we're gonna go to the store, bet, right? Like, that was past my time, right? That was people. I'm a little bit too old to say bet. You know, like, I remember bet was taken off when I was like in my early 20s, you know, and so I never used it in my general speaking. You know, I never used bet. It was, again, I'm just a little bit too old for it. Like, I use cool. Like, I'm trying to think of all the slang I use. I use cool. I say, I'll say that's what's up, you know, which is a little bit earlier slang. I don't really say it anymore, but I used to. Again, my slang was like tight. I'd be like, that's tight. I think that's a tight truck over there. Or that's a tight A, you know, outfit you got on. I don't know, whatever. Like, tight was the slang. It's kind of like dope, really. And I'll still use dope, but again, I feel very old when I use dope. I've said this 1,000 times, but I feel like this guy. Like, anytime I say dope, I'm this guy right here. Sick. Yeah, sick is pretty. Sick's been used now, and it's still used now, and it was used a lot back then. So sick has kind of been universal. Dope has been used pretty like regularly throughout the last 50 years, 40 years, since the late 80s, early 90s. Dope has been used. Yeah, exactly. And that was my generation too. Like, Jesse from Breaking Bad was kind of my generation. Yeah, well, dope has been around since the 80s. The late 80s is what it was. And then it was used a lot in the 90s. And then it kind of slowed down a little bit in the early 2000s with words like tight or there's a bunch of stupid words that came out that I could just never get behind. Like, there's a period in time where there's a time in Louisiana where people say, I go Duffy. Like, all this ridiculous slang. I could just never get behind it. Like, I was never desperate enough to be cool to use some of these slang terms, right? Like, the most extent I got was tight, right? And again, if you watch Breaking Bad, that's the context it was used in. But again, I stopped using that as well. Yeah, it's used as another word to describe the act of something being or going crazy, gangster. Yeah. Fresh. Gator boots with my pimp down Gucci. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of dumb slang that I could just never get involved with. I just felt too old to use it. After, like, listen, I know a lot of people that I grew up with, right? That just never freaking grew up, right? Like, they never grew up. Like, they're still acting the same way I acted when I was, like, 20, you know? Like, they're still trying to be cool. They're still trying to be, like, gangsters, even though it's like most of them are grew up in the suburbs. It's just kind of like, look, man, it's time to stop, you know? And that doesn't work, right? Like, if you're older and you're trying to get, like, you're trying to attract a spouse, I guess is what I'll say. That doesn't work anymore. Not really. I mean, it depends on who you are, right? If you're really like that, it can work, you know? So I'm not judging you if that's how you grew up or whatever. But, like, if you grew up in the suburbs, man, you know, just stop it. It just doesn't work, you know? Perfect time to go short. Yeah, I mean, I see I actually don't mind a short here. Hey, bro. I don't mind a short here because we got a cup and handle pattern. Or we got a head and shoulders pattern here. We're just playing around. We'll see if it works. All right, y'all ready? Sheesh, bro. All right, guys. I blame Fast Time Ridgemont High for dude. Dude, I still use dude. I call my son dude. But it's also like a Cajun thing. Like Cajuns, people in Louisiana, I'll say the word dude a lot. Hey, dude, come here. You know, so dude is actually really heavily used in Louisiana culture, regardless of who it is, right? All right, so we're in this short here. I still like the top of the range. I'm trying to be patient. We'll take a couple contracts here and take some risks. I don't mind playing around with this account early in the morning. We're trying to attack this trend. What we're essentially betting on, though, is NVIDIA turning. And I don't know if it will. I'll take up to 4 contracts here. I just feel like we're going to slow down and start breaking down here, at least a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Dude's cross-generational, 100%, yeah. And again, guys, I'm on Top Step X. We are day trading on Top Step X. And this is the powerful thing, is that I can take longer term day trades in pre-market. I can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Patterns are super similar to like blue chip stock patterns, same patterns that you would be trading on Apple, Amazon, all that stuff. There's no PDT in futures. I can day trade if I want to. And it's just the best way for new traders to get started, in my opinion. Top Step gives you a demo. They test your skill with it first. It's a monthly subscription, and this builds your skill. It teaches you how to trade under pressure. It teaches you how to follow rules. And the rules are the most legit in the game. They're the most reasonable in the game, in my opinion. But if you fail, it's not the end of the world. You know, you're out $49 the monthly subscription. If you pass it, they fund you between $50K up to $150,000 with a 90% split. They pay out millions of dollars. They paid out over $40 million to their traders. They fund thousands of traders regularly, and it's just a great way to learn how to day trade. And if you pass it, it's still a 90% split, so it's similar to funding yourself. But if you lose, it's much less than losing thousands of dollars like most new day traders are going to do. Most new day traders are going to try to fund themselves. They're probably going to lose 10, 15, 20 grand if they have that much money if they don't have that much money, they're still generally going to lose at least a couple grand trying to day trade. And again, it makes no sense. Try this first. If you pass it, then you can fund your own account with the profits you make. If you fail it, you're going to lose much less than putting the money up yourself. And so again, they're an affiliate of mine, so I'm biased, of course, but I genuinely think it's just the best move for traders when you're, especially if you're trying to learn futures. And again, I'll put the link up. Great way to help support the channel. All right, so we're down again. We're kind of flat on the day. If this trade doesn't work out, we'll be roughly flat on the day. But hopefully the trade's going to work out. It's going to break down. I still like this range, and I see this little mini head and shoulders pattern right here. So we're still roughly flat with 3 contracts. Yeah, dude, sweet dude. I used to love Dude, Where's My Car? It was like a childhood favorite movie of mine. My parents probably shouldn't have let me watch it. They let me watch it when I was really young, when I was like 10. I should have never watched that movie. But I had it on DVD. My parents got it for me on DVD for Christmas. The dumbest movie ever. Yeah, Nvidia up to 144s. Still trying. We got about 500 people here live, so again, if you haven't already subscribed, everything we do here is free. We don't charge for anything. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service. We don't claim to be experts. We don't act like gurus. We don't charge a penny for anything. Everything we put out there is completely free. Yeah, we are shorting micro futures. So we are shorting the NASDAQ, basically the QQQ price action in futures. That's what we're doing on the left side. We got 3 contracts. I just want to see if we break down some here. We got an inverse, or we got a head and shoulders pattern on the downside, which is nice. Idiocracy is a great movie too. Hilarious premise. Starting to flush a little bit. Let's see if we can. I'm going to just take some profit here, lock it in, get out at 3 contracts, a little bit too large a size early this pre-market, and we'll let the rest work. Yeah, we watched Back to the Future pretty recently. And the interesting part about it is, like, we've hit the future. The biggest difference between the Back to the Future actually got a lot of stuff right. So we're gonna go ahead and take a piece off of that. Back to the Future actually got a lot of stuff right. Specifically like screens, conferencing software, a lot of stuff. The biggest thing it got wrong was flying cars. We're nowhere near flying cars. The infrastructure can never support that. And so that's the biggest difference between Back to the Future is flying cars. But everything else was actually pretty accurate. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the rest here. We just made about 30 bucks. We were correct about the head and shoulders pattern, guys. Makes a lot of sense, right? So what the head and shoulders pattern is, and I'll zoom in to show you guys this. I probably should have held at least a piece of this. But here's the shoulders. Here's the head, right? So head and shoulders pattern looks like this. I'll draw it on the right side. Head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder. So basically it's a high, a bigger high, and then either a lower high afterwards or a neutral high. Hello? Hey. All right, chat. No, it's my wife. Yeah, I got out too early. That's okay. I could add right back, though. Steve's Coffee calling Aquafina. Yeah, so again, you can kind of see the inverse head and shoulders. I wanted to short this piece back up there, but I just didn't. Maybe I should have. We got a nice little breakdown on Top Step X. We'll see if it holds, but nice little breakdown here. Carol's morning call off by an hour. Yeah, dude. Every morning like clockwork. So look at this breakdown here. We were right about the top of the trend line that we've been following all morning. It's a longer term trend though. We will think about buying the dip though. I think this trend has been down there. Let me see what I'm up on the day so far. I know we got at least some gains. Yeah, we're up a little bit. That's good. So far so good. Yeah, let's see what happens. It's a wife thing. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, Sony again, they won't take no for an answer. Yeah, like, listen to some of these emails. I get them all the time, dude. I really do. Like, listen to some of these freaking things. They're ridiculous, though. Okay, I should be able to check my... Yeah, look, they sent me another one, dude. Okay, listen to this. All right, listen to this. Dear content creator, the Aquafina Collective is thrilled to present you with a captivating partnership offer. Our goal is to embed our bubbly water seamless into daily routines, and we're inviting you to be a central part of this remarkable journey. You know, a tale as old as time, guys. Imagine featuring a concise, short promo for Aquafina in an upcoming video. We believe our essence will harmonize with your content, infusing it with elegance and flair. Aquafina represents more than just hydration. It embodies class, grace, and excellence. Our heritage is our pride, and we're eager to soar to new inspirational milestones. Your followers would definitely value the chance to discover our water within your work. In return for your contribution, we propose a beneficial incentive alongside comprehensive assistance, including pre-prepared content for our partnership. Together, we can establish a captivating and lasting impression. Should this opportunity pique your interest, please be sure to reach out. We're keen to delve into our proposal more deeply. Here's to a fruitful collaboration. Warmest wishes, the Aquafina Collective. You know, that's literally the emails I get, bro. These are the emails I get. Right? They're freaking ridiculous, right? Like just ridiculous, dude. Just ridiculous. Oh no, now I got one from Doritos. Guys, listen. We are pleased to introduce you to Doritos and suggest an advertising partnership opportunity. We cherish your professionalism and appeal, which engages the awareness of your substantial audience. Our proposal is to join forces by placing an eye-catching 30-second commercial in the opening of your next exciting YouTube video. We strongly maintain that your focused audience will be highly receptive to our mouth-watering chips. Doritos team. Come on now, guys. Doritos is watching beginner trading like, you know what? He's the guy. You know, he's the guy to promote our new chips. Like, just dumb. Who came up with these, man? Like, these are the dumbest, like... I got another one from Saint Agrestus, whatever that is. Aquafina, hey. That's it. Oh, it's definitely AI. Aquafina has class. Yeah, the first thing you think of is I need some water, guys. Gatorade sucks. Water's better. Listen, you know. It's just hilarious, though. It really is. All right, so we're still in this trend. We've been drawing this trend all morning, and we've been following this trend. We'll see if it continues. Remember, guys. Gatorade sucks. Buy water. What a ridiculous thought. Yeah, and again, like, these are scammers hoping I'm desperate enough for a sponsor that I'll just ignore the nonsensical aspects of this, you know. Just dumb. Like, if they made it a little bit more realistic, I think. Like, but the problem is, like, these are like, these are sent out. Yeah, now they have one that's saying that I have another one from Canon, right? So these are, so apparently, guys, listen. If my emails ring true, Canon cameras, right? Canon cameras, Doritos, Aquafina, San Pellegrino. They all want a piece of beginner trading, and John and beginner trading, apparently, guys. Like, the problem is, like, these are scammers, and they send out these mass emails to a lot of different YouTubers. Any YouTuber with a decent following, they're sending it out there, and they're hoping the YouTuber's IQ is low enough to where they're just gonna fall forward hook, line, and sinker and contact them and be like, yo, I want to be sponsored by Aquafina. And they're going to be like, oh, kindly send me $100. We got to get a sign-up fee. It's 500 Walmart gift cards. You know, kindly send them to me now, sir. You know, and it's not going to work on most people, but you find that one person that's desperate enough to believe it, struggling enough financially to, like, ignore the red flags, as well as probably isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, and then they make money, you know. And, like, that's the goal of these things. They're hilarious, though. They really are. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna look at the URL. I'm just reading the preview of it because I don't want to click on the emails. Yeah, so we got I like a long here too. I'll probably buy it up. I really don't mind it. We're breaking down enough. We'll take 2 contracts here. See if we get a little bounce. We got a cushion. We might add some more to it too if we get it. We're definitely catching a falling knife, but we're just attacking the trend, and we're deep enough here to where I could probably get some value from it, I think. 2 contracts. We're trying to scale up a little bit too, and yeah. I'm going to add to it. We got 3 contracts now. We got a cushion, so even if we lose here, we're fine. There we go. There we go. All right, we locked in most of that profit. We're already up about 30 here. I'll let the rest ride. I want to keep a piece of this at least. They don't ever say anything regarding money. They're not gonna. They don't even. Yeah. Again, real sponsors, it's gonna be negotiable, right? So with real sponsors, it's always negotiable. Some might offer more, some might offer less. It depends on how well their product fits your audience is the thing, right? Which is why these are so ridiculous, because they're so generalized from scammers. Like, the scammers don't understand the red flags here and how, like, generalized these are. I'll probably have to cut this pretty soon. We're still gonna be green even if we sell here, because we are just flushing down with the quickness. But I'll let it work, actually. Like, I don't mind. But they're just too generalized, right? So, like, companies like Tide washing pods or Aquafina or Doritos, they're not going to be reaching out to me. Like, they're never going to sponsor me. That's just not a reasonable expectation. That's like freaking Ford coming at John being like, hey, John, you know, I know your content doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing here, but listen, we want to hire you for a partnership. It's just the dumbest, like, it's the dumbest pitches ever. All right, I'm going to have to sell this. So we're basically flat over the last 2 trades, which is fine. What fights are there this weekend? Oh, we got Taporia versus Holloway this weekend. I'm excited for that. Ilya, Max Holloway, Robert Whitaker versus Hamzat Chimaev. Dan Ige versus Lerone Murphy. Ankalaev versus Ratchik. Oh, we got Magomedov versus Armin Petrosyan. That'll be a good fight, too. Honestly, this weekend's fun, man. We got Geoff Neal versus Dos Anjos, Rafael Dos Anjos. We got Habib's brother, cousin, Saeed. This weekend's fights are big, man. Who do you guys get? You got Ilya or Max? I think Max might surprise people, but Ilya's never lost, so it's going to be risky for him. Follow F1? No, not really. But how do they get your email? This is my queue. It's public. My email's public. Yeah, this is public. Look at this breakdown here. So this is where we're probably going to start buying it up. All right, I'm in 3 contracts. We just unloaded a piece of it. Got out another piece just to protect it. And we might add more back to it at the bottom here. Jump right back in. A little bit riskier of a trade. All right, there's 4 contracts here. We are kind of catching a falling knife, but that's okay. I think the reward is worth the risk. Oof, maybe not, man. What a drop, dude. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut it. What a terrible time to buy it here, man. Just super, I don't know if it was unlucky. We only lost 50 bucks there, so it could have been honestly much worse. Like, look at that. Yeah, dude, that was just a nasty drop. What happened is Nvidia just dumped on us. I'm trying to see if there's a reason why. Apple cracked lows, Amazon broke down simultaneously, Meta broke down. We should have followed our trend. Look at our trend line. That thing worked perfectly too. So our trend line would have worked great here. Should have just stuck with it. Eventually we're going to break out of the trend line. At this rate, I think we're going to break the bottom, but who knows? But this trend has been holding very well all morning. So when I take trades after the bell, this is the type of stuff I'm going to start taking. I'm going to try to scale up my size for sure. And again, the beautiful part about Top Step is that I would have lost so much more money if I would have done this funding my own account. And so again, if you want to learn to day trade, this is the way for sure. This is the way. There's the link. Check it out. No idea what's wrong with Dell at the moment. I haven't even looked at Dell. And we're still kind of flat. We were green on heading into this trade altogether. We only lost 50 bucks from it, so we're pretty flat on the day actually, but we're probably down a little bit. Yeah, Dell is an interesting one, man. It's been really strong all last year. This year it's still up a ton as well, but it's pulling back big from its all-time highs. Yeah, I think it's interesting to speculate on what we might get today. Like tomorrow we have Tesla earnings, right? Today after the closing bell, we have some other stuff too. So we have we have ENPH, STX, Texas Instruments, Baker Hughes, JetBlue. I never knew Baker Hughes was Howard Hughes' company, right? I never knew that. Or it's like a piece of Howard Hughes' company. So if you've ever seen The Aviator with Howard Hughes, the pilot and the airplane producer, Baker Hughes is a result. The Hughes in Baker Hughes comes from Howard Hughes, which is interesting. He's the airplane producer. I never knew that when I looked at Baker Hughes. Baker Hughes is obviously not as big as it once was. But still, I never knew. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna wait. I don't want to get too active this morning. Nvidia flushing down too. Yeah, so Baker Hughes is a spinoff of Howard Hughes' company. Let me see if I need to edit this layout. I need to put myself like here, maybe. We'll put myself like right here. Yeah. That's probably the best spot. Yeah, for sure. He was like the Elon, everybody. He had a lot of haters. That's how it goes, I think, when you're that big, though. Nvidia's still flushing down a little bit. All right, so Nvidia flushing down some here as well. Still cracking lows. I don't know if I want to buy it or not. I probably don't. Yeah, but I don't want to just rush right in to try to win the money back. It's just not what I want to do. I want to be a little bit more patient, and we're probably just going to wait and get closer to the opening bell and then target stuff like that. I think that's probably the better move, right? It's just kind of waiting, being patient, letting it work some. You know? Yeah, AI's getting so good. It's gonna save so much money with building stuff. You know, like last year, like I still have my taxes and all that stuff due, but like, or I paid my taxes, I mean. But last year, I built a software. Like it was a cool AI software. What it would do a lot of different stuff, and it cost me like 15 grand, like $14,000 I spent on it, right? But the problem is like by the time the software was done, like I had some developers build it because I don't really have the time to it. By the time the software was done, the APIs were all hooked up. And just to put this into perspective, whenever you have a software, the data that you get from APIs costs money, right? So it's not free. It's not like there's some free data reports, but most of them cost money, right? So we were spending like $1,000 a month on data for months and months. And by the time the software was done, ChatGPT had grown so much to where it had grown so much to where it could do everything that the software that we were offering did. So ChatGPT just got that much better. Right now, I still have the code for it. I'm not gonna mess with it, but it just got that good, right? Like software got that freaking good, unfortunately, and yeah, rendered the entire software obsolete. You know, I mean, we were able to write it off as a complete loss, which it was, which is fine. You know, I'll take the $15,000 loss, but still, yeah. it is what it is. We're starting to find a bottom. We'll see. We'll see what we got, but I think we're at the bottom of the trend too, but it's not worth it. I'm gonna wait until the open bell. We got 30, 40 minutes. I didn't expect the E-mini to break through the buy zone during pre-market. There's a big comparatively spike in volume though. Yeah, for sure. I'm just ready for a week of economic reports, man. My channel mostly thrives on economic data, and so it's been a slow week, man. Everything's consolidated to next week specifically. So like everything's from next week, right? So literally everything we do is for next week. So look at this bounce up. So Nvidia bouncing up a little bit now too. Nvidia up a little bit. So there's a bounce in Nvidia. I'm going to take one contract here, just one. I've been trying to be patient, but we're just looking to attack the trend, and I think at a certain point the trend's too obvious. I'm not going to add any more, and so it will be small. And again, we're kind of flat on the day, so I think we can, if we do take it, it's fine to take a longer term trade, just to be in something, but we're going to be very loose with it. If it breaks under this trend line here, we're just going to have to cut it. We'll see if we get that big bounce back. Are y'all red or green today? Let me do a poll. Did I do a poll this morning? I didn't. Let's do a poll. Are you red or green so far this week? Red. Green. Out here because we are. Thoughts on GNPX? Looks like a horrible, obscure penny stock that gapped up on hype and will probably fill the gap, is my guess, but I might be wrong. But yeah, you're talking about... I mean, the reason I say that is because I look at this. Here's a daily chart. Look at this thing. This thing has had a huge failure. Now, even if it's up a little bit right now, it's still only up to like, look how weak this thing is. It's just not I'm just not interested in it. It's too weak, unfortunately. I'm red in stocks this week, green on cryptos. Oh, green is good, I guess, in anything. We're about 50-50 split, 46% red, 52% now green, 48% red. So got a 50-50 split. I'm green on physical gold. Well, that's good. We're slightly red today, but could be worse. I'm just ready for the economic data to come out. Like, again, this week's still pretty slow. Tomorrow, we don't really have much. Thursday, we got some stuff, and Friday, we got some stuff. So Thursday and Friday's not bad. After tomorrow morning, the rest of the week, somewhat busy, and then next week will be crazy. Like, next week is so busy. Every freaking day, we got a bunch of stuff going on. But it's just really weird how they organized it. Because, like, so to put it into perspective, right, like, this is how they organized it. Tuesday, Case-Shiller, Consumer Confidence JOLTS report. Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment, basically prelim payroll numbers, GDP data, all dropping on Wednesday. And then there's also huge earnings happening. Like, we're going to be streaming all week next week, basically. Thursday, we got PCE data, jobless claims data, and huge earnings. Friday, we've got non-farm payrolls, unemployment, ISM manufacturing, PMI. And then outside of that, we just have so many big earnings reports dropping on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Like that's all the economic data. So that's all we're covering most of that stuff in the morning. In terms of actual earnings next week, it's packed, right? So we have Tesla earnings tomorrow evening, but Monday, as an example, we've got like on Semi, Centerpoint, Procept, Bank of Marin, Bank of Hawaii. Nothing really big. But Monday evening, we've got Ford, Waste Management, a couple other ones. Monday's kind of slow. Wow. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a piece of this off here. So we're up about 25 bucks. So we bought the bottom of the range. This range we drew earlier has been working very, very well. You can kind of see how obvious it's been working, which is nice. I could have added there to it. I think I just got to quit while I'm ahead in some of these instances. But yeah, like next week, so Tuesday of next week, we got SoFi earnings, PayPal, BP, Pfizer, McDonald's, Tenet, Enterprise, Royal Caribbean, JetBlue, Crocs. Tuesday evening, we've got AMD, Google, Snapchat, Chipotle, Visa, First Solar, Reddit, Boston Properties, and a bunch of other ones. Wednesday morning, we've got Eli Lilly, Caterpillar, Humana, Global Payments, Trinity, Biogen, AbbVie. Wednesday evening, we've got Microsoft, Meta, Coinbase, Nova, Etsy, Hood, Riots, Carvana, Starbucks, Roku, eBay. Thursday morning, we got even more stuff too. So Thursday morning, we got Uber, Shopify, Peloton, Merck, ConocoPhillips, Estee Lauder, MasterCard, Altria, Norwegian Cruise, Roblox, Spirit Airlines, Bristol Myers, Comcast, Shell, Cinemark. And then Thursday evening, we've got the big boys coming out with Amazon, Apple, Intel, and more, right? And then Friday, I don't think we got much. But Friday we got Fubo, Chevron, Exxon, Oil, Wayfair, Icon, Dominion Energy. So just so much stuff next week, man. Next week, I'm going to be basically streaming all freaking week, which is great. I mean, we need it. It's been a very slow 2-week period because very rarely do they ever organize economic reports in this way. You know, like most people tune into my channel specifically for economic reports. They know if something big economics-wise is coming out, I'm going to stream it. And so that's really the like main niche of my channel, I would say, is purely economic reports. Like we day trade and all that good stuff, and we have fun with that. But again, it's kind of this weird market in which like most of the time we're covering economic data. And usually that economic data is spread pretty evenly throughout the weeks in the month, right? So usually we've got like payrolls 1 week, non-farm payrolls, unemployment, prelim payroll data 1 week. The next week we'll have GDP data, PCE data. The next week we'll have like the JOLTS report and ISM manufacturing PMI and all that stuff. For whatever reason, in October this year, they decided to make almost every single one of those reports next week, right? Like we have ISM PMI, the JOLTS report, CB consumer confidence, non-farm payrolls, unemployment, GDP data, prelim payroll data, jobless claims reports. Like everything is next week, which is very strange, very odd. And it just means I'm going to be really, really busy, which is fine. But it's just a really weird thing. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that next week, we not only have every single economic report for the most part out of the month, but we also have the biggest earnings reports of the month outside of Nvidia, right? We got Apple, Amazon, Snapchat, Chipotle, Meta, Microsoft. Like all of those earnings are going to go on during those big economic reports weeks. And so it's this really weird week where next week everything's so consolidated that we're going to get so much stuff go on. It's going to be volatile. I would be careful next week just because of the sheer amount of stuff we have going on. John, I'm up 31% year to date. Just read this week. Yeah, no, that's good. If you're up anything over 20%, you're doing well. Yeah, I was trying to tell my wife because my wife has like some money sitting in an investment account. And like I'm telling her, you know, when I look at the year-to-date return, when I look at the total returns in this investment account, my wife has this investment account. When I look at the total returns are like 2% overall over the last like 10 years. You know, 2% in 10 years. The average yearly returns, I think the average yearly returns is about 2% for her over a 10-year period of time. And I told her that is terrible. Amazon rip it up big. So Amazon bounced back and then it kind of retraced a little bit. But that is absolutely horrible. I'm going to go ahead and buy this dip right here. Again, we're going to keep one contract. I told her that is terrible returns. You know, she says, why is that terrible? I said, it's terrible because this year alone, The S&P 500 is up what? What is it up this year? Like 20-something% right now? The NASDAQ's up 20-something%. Like, if you can't make at least 5% on average over the last 10, 5% is very conservative returns. The S&P will give you about 10% on average. Last year it did 24%. This year it's up 20% plus, I think. And so if your average is 2% a year, like, whoever's managing that money is effing up, you know, because honestly, you could throw darts at a dartboard and make 5% right now. Yeah, U.S. Treasury bonds average is 4 to 6% of the last 10. So yeah, it's just not good returns. John, you're the #1 best worldwide reporter ever. Hey, definitely top 3-ish. But yeah, I appreciate it, I guess. %. CD sitting probably. The CD should make you more than 2% though. Certified deposits, and it's not a certified deposit, right? Like, it's a investment account. So, and again, I don't know why the manager would be putting money in CDs. Like, you don't need a market manager to put money in CDs, right? To put this into perspective, certified deposits, chat, are basically bank accounts that pay you a specific yield for letting your money sit in them. And so I might go up to like Chase, and Chase might say, yo, John, if you let your money sit in us for 8 months, we'll pay you a 5% annualized return. And that is basically how they work, is that you will, they'll pay you money to let your money sit. And this is good for a lot of different reasons. One of the big reasons is it's liquid, right? I can withdraw my money anytime. Now, I might miss out on the yield they pay me, but I can withdraw my money anytime, which is the benefits of CDs in general, is that you can kind of take your money out of them. And they're much more liquid than say, like, investing in actual treasury bonds where your money's tied up for the length of the period. Yeah, I'm starting to see some red action. I'm probably gonna cut this pretty soon. We got some buying pressure show up, but I don't like it. I'm gonna cut it right there. We got out for less than 20 bucks. I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, it's all different banks, right? So different banks are going to pay you different things. Yeah, but just 2% average is horrible, like terrible returns in an investment account, right? And what they think they're doing is they think the money manager is taking a bunch of short-term trades to try to rack up fees because he profits from fees, and to a certain extent. And that's the problem and the risks for letting your money sit in like a money manager account, is that some of them are just sleazy and they're going to rack up some fees for you. If that makes sense. So that's most likely what's going on, you know. All right, we're gonna be day trading futures today, chat. You can kind of see, guys, and again, if you want to day trade futures, try out Top Step. You know why? Is because if you want to day trade, like, here's Nvidia on the right, and then here's Top Step on the left, right? Notice something. This is pretty similar, right? The difference is I can do this side, no PDT restrictions. I can day trade short, buy market, sell market, no PDT restrictions. On Top Step X, there's 0 commissions, which is powerful. Tiny amount of fees per trade, 0 commissions. And so I can trade small contracts and micros. and scalp, take long-term range trades, and pay virtually nothing in commissions, versus trying to day trade stocks, trying to trade futures anywhere else where there's super high commissions. And again, there's no PDT in futures, so they give you a demo. They test your skill with the demo first. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. Again, in this case, it is only $49 for the base one. If you pass it, you get $50K in funding. There's also other ones here. If we look at like Top Step, all right, so if you look at Top Step, there's a bunch of different options here. Specifically, like they've got the $50K option. It's $49 a month. Your profit target's $3K. You got to use 5 contracts. 5 contracts, especially of regular E-mini, is plenty. You got to make $2,000 without losing, or you got to make $3K without losing $2K. So it's a reasonable like 2 to 3 ratio. This one's only $99. If you pass it, you get $100K in funding, 90% split. This one's only $150. You get $150K in funding, 90% split, and they pay out millions of dollars. You can kind of see here they've paid out over $100 million since 2020. Over $100 million. And this has jumped up recently too. So they've paid out over $100 million since 2020. Been around for 12 years. They're the most legit one in the world. And so again, if you want to check them out, great way to help support your boy here on this channel. Here's the link. Yeah, Top Step X just gets better and better. It's the biggest edge in funding right now, for sure. And again, we're going to day trade a little bit more actively after the opening bell in about 25 minutes or so. A little bit more actively. We're just hanging out waiting for now. Make sure this is right. There we go. Yeah, here's NVIDIA on the right side. It's cracking lows. So that's the only reason we're not taking anything right now, because this is kind of cracking lows, breaking down some. So Pawn sent me something where they added trading bias. Like here's the tilt level, which is interesting because it kind of shows where everybody's going, like where traders are going specifically. 60% long in the S&P. In the NASDAQ, they're 59% short. In crude oil, they are 51% short. In gold, they are 57% short. So you can kind of see how they're adding that, which is interesting too. It shows you kind of the bias here. And again, look at NVIDIA dump, and then look at the NASDAQ breaking down here too. All right, chat, and we are going to be day trading towards the opening bell. Put my trades up here. We did better early this morning. Right on the year. I'm green on the year. In stocks, that is, I'm green. Green on a bunch of stuff. We had some really good investments. It's hard not to be green on years like this, though, but we're green so far. green on the QQQ as well. We're green on gold also. Green on gold, Q. Why the shakeout this morning? I'm not sure. Nvidia broke down and cracked lows. You can kind of see Nvidia on the right side here, which is really what we're watching. Bounce it up some. Let's see what else we got here. There's the NASDAQ. See, I created my TOS charts. It looks just like TOS now on TradingView, which is nice. Man, dude, I gotta build. Look at this freaking thing, dude. So check this out. So I built this. Look at that thing. Yeah, we'll keep playing with it. I'm gonna put Nvidia back up. We're bouncing at the bottom. Maybe I need to update my trend line a little bit more here. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing now. I'm watching Nvidia closely here. We gotta just wait and show. We got 15 minutes until the open. So we're sitting back waiting, but time will dictate what happens here today. Yeah, we got the jazz playing in the background. We're doing our best here, chat. We're doing our best. I like those junk penny stocks. Yeah, man, but the problem is, Corey, and I think you were talking about this before, is like they're really gambly, bro. Like, that's the best way I could describe it. Like, most, like everybody attacks these penny stocks like G and PX, you know, or whatever it is, but they almost always lose money. The stocks almost never hold their gains, right? Like the amount of times you see something move up and actually hold its gains in penny stocks is so low percentage. It's just not worth it, I think, bro. And like, that's the problem, is that it's just so low percentage in penny stocks. I think it's just really gambling. And I think especially like the worst thing you could ever do is invest in these companies. Like, investing in penny stocks is one of the worst things you could ever do, right? Like investing in these, they're terrible companies. Most of them fail. But again, people get wrapped up in thinking they're going to find the next Amazon. And again, Amazon never a penny stock. Apple never a penny stock. Tesla never a penny stock. Facebook never a penny stock. Like, any major company was almost never a penny stock, even if it shows that way in the chart history. Again, that's just because splits. Successful companies split over and over and over again. So if the shares are $100 a share, they split and they break them down into 1 to 2 split, and then each symbol is $50 a share, and then they do it again. And when it hits $100 again, they do it again. Maybe they do a 10 to 1 split. They bring shares down to $10, so forth and so on. To where if you look back at the history, The history will make it seem like they were once penny stocks. They never freaking were. Almost all of them IPO'd over $20, never really hit those levels. And that, if you're not super experienced in markets, that might trick you into thinking that you can find some diamonds in the rough in penny stocks, but almost all of them fail, unfortunately. They're almost all fail. As long as you don't invest in them, like, you know, you can day trade it. Maybe you can find an edge day trading it, but almost all of them fail. Yeah, I'm not going to short this. We're in the middle of the range. I'm just going to wait. Yeah, so Nvidia's testing lows again down here. We'll see if it influences the NASDAQ. Yeah, I'm just not going to listen to trades. Sorry, brother. It's not my style, dude. GM reported earnings. RTX reported earnings. Verizon posted earnings. 3M posted earnings. So a lot of people posted earnings, but you know, if we look at the actual earnings report, most of them beat. I would say most of them beat. Verizon posted 119, beat the 118 expected, missed revenue, down. 3M posted 198, beat the 193 estimate, posted 6.3 billion, expected 6.1 billion. So 3M BDPS beat revenue, GE BDPS beat revenue, GM BDPS beat revenue, RTX BDPS beat revenue, Lockheed Martin BDPS missed revenue, FCX missed EPS beat revenue, Philip Morris BDPS missed revenue, Quest Diagnostics BDPS beat revenue, FI BDPS beat revenue, Denny's missed EPS missed revenue, Danaher BDPS beat revenue, Kimberly-Clark Corporation BDPS missed revenue, Sherwin-Williams missed EPS missed revenue, Moody's BDPS beat revenue. And that's basically it. You got like Invesco flat EPS beat revenue. So Nvidia's still flushing down, still breaking down here. Looks weak. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes. 10 minutes until the market opens. We'll see if we get anything good. I'm ready. Yeah, Denny's, my daughter refuses to eat Denny's. You know, it says a lot about programming your brain. Right? There's a lot of interesting ways to program your brain to like healthy foods or dislike healthy foods. So my daughter ate Denny's 6-7 years ago when she was young, when she was a kid still. And when she ate it, she got really, really sick. really, really sick. So she got food poisoning from Denny's specifically a long time ago. And even though this was almost a decade ago, she still refuses to eat Denny's, and really won't eat breakfast food a lot now. So she still has that kind of like PTSD from Denny's. And it kind of goes to show, like, it's very interesting how you can program your brain. One of the ways I know this is because if you want to program your brain to eat the right things, what you have to do is you have to withhold food from yourself for a while until you get really, really, really hungry. Really, really, really hungry. And then when you're really, really, really hungry, eat the foods that you want to eat. Like, eat the foods that you want to program your brain to continue to like, right? So if you want to eat a lot of berries or fruits, withhold food from yourself for a period of time until you get really, really hungry, and then eat berries and fruits, right? And so that will make you, it'll taste better, and it'll refresh your taste buds in that way to where you'll love those specific foods. It's one of the things, like, if you eat, I ate one of those potato pastas, I can't remember what it was, and got sick from it one day, and I don't like that anymore. It basically programmed my brain not to eat it, and this is very common. You know, so like, you really can program your brain to like different foods. You have to eat them when you're really, really hungry. If you do it, if you want to learn to eat, you know, if you want to eat healthy cereal, get yourself really, really hungry, and then eat healthy cereal, and you'll like it, right? But it all has to do with when you eat it. Like, and it really is the way you program your brain in that way. She hates Denny's. She will not touch it. Yeah, I do fasting usually every Saturday. I fast as long as I can. So usually I fast Saturday morning. I don't eat until like the afternoon on Saturday. Yeah, it creates a habit. It'll just make you hungry. It'll make you crave the healthy foods. So if you wait to eat and you're really, really hungry, and then you eat healthy foods, it'll make your brain crave healthy foods, and you'll eat those more. But you got to do it when you're hungry. Like, you know. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes, or we got about 6 minutes left. 6 minutes. What was last Tuesday? Let's see, what was the 17th? Okay. What do we have? We had retail sales data last week, right? Yeah. All right, so we're bouncing back up a little bit. Nvidia is still trending down. I'm gonna wait until the opening bell happens and wait a little while after the opening bell. Try to get some better trades in the books. I get really hungry. A lot of people have parasites, so I think that's probably pretty normal for humans in general, right? So I think a lot of people in general are, yeah, a lot of people in general do that, you know, or have that. I think that's pretty normal as people, as humans. All right, so Nvidia breaking lows of the day again here with 6 minutes into the opening bell. Nvidia's, or not lows of the day, is it? No, it's not quite lows of the day. Nvidia breaking recent lows, I'll say. Testing lows of the day. The lows of the day are right here at 143 roughly, 142.95. We're at 143.06. We're about 15 cents away. Or we're about 5 cents away actually right now. 10 cents, 15 cents. We're kind of going back and forth, but we're getting close. The problem with X is that it's so political, right? Like, it's so political that it's hard to, like, get on there and not see politics stuff. All right, so Nvidia's still flushing Still trying. All right, so we got a couple hundred votes. Let's see what the poll shows. 51% show red, 49% are green. Dixie keeps going up because of the, yeah. We're middle range right now. I don't really think. Yeah, Martin, I'm not really going to get into it. It's just too political for me, brother. All right, we got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Apple broke lows recently, too. It's kind of helping drag NVIDIA down. I'm surprised the NASDAQ's not following it down more. It's just too political, man. NVIDIA flushing down. It's at 143s. Yeah, and a lot of time those odds makers know their stuff digital. I mean, I'm not gonna say I want that to happen or don't want that to happen, but bookmakers specifically are usually they're mathematicians. Now, I think this is a little bit different and it's harder to predict. Look at NVIDIA. Now NVIDIA just broke lows of the day. But like you see the people selling picks and call outs on gurus and sports betting. It's just a scheme most of the time, because most, like, to win at betting sports, that means you have to beat the odds makers, right? Like, that's the only way you win, is if you beat the odds makers, right? Now, to beat the odds makers are mathematicians. These guys are freaking math wizards, you know? So you basically have to beat them to be consistently winning at betting on sports. And the likelihood that you're going to be able to do that is so freaking low. It's so freaking low that a lot of people fall for it hook, line, and sinker. They want to believe, it's confirmation bias. They want to believe that they can make money betting on sports. Right? That's everybody's dream. That's a lot of guys' dreams and girls' dreams, right? But the problem is, like, you're not going to beat those mathematicians most of the time. Like, they freaking know. You know, they're going to make the odds so close there's no edge for you. And that's the point. That's where they make their money. And so, I don't know. It's just too low odds for me. I mean, milk, I don't think it matters in the long run. Either side, I don't think it matters. I think once you get to the top, it's all the same anyway, to be honest. You know, and I think the rest is just a soap opera. You know. Anyways, we got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Yeah, you want to be the math genius, you got to be better than the math genius, and I don't think most people are, especially not the people that get addicted to betting on sports, unfortunately, you know. All right, guys, we got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Let's see what we get. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. There's the opening bell. Let's see what we get. NASDAQ pushing up a little bit in this range. NVIDIA is now breaking lows real quick. So NVIDIA just cracked lows of the day right at the opening bell and then immediately retraced back up. It's starting to move up a little bit. Here's NASDAQ on Top Step X. It's heading up a little bit. Still in this range. We're going to let it play out first. Yeah, we got to let it play out first a little bit here first. Again, NVIDIA bouncing. NASDAQ's bouncing. All right, so now we're heading back down. Look at NVIDIA flush down here. So NVIDIA dumping. NASDAQ right in the middle range is too middle range for me to attack it. But Nvidia dumped at the opening bell. It's down. It's up so much already, though. Nvidia's up a lot. And so if I have a bias, it's on the short side. Why? Because Nvidia is up so much. It's at 143s. Nvidia is literally breaking lifetime highs at the opening bell this morning, and already did. And so, yeah, so Nvidia is breaking lifetime highs at the opening bell. A bet on upside of markets would essentially mean that Nvidia is going to keep going up, and I think I'm not saying it can't happen. It could certainly happen. I think it's a lower probability than Nvidia correcting a little bit from take profits and selling and stuff like that. I think that's the higher probability here. And with that said, there's the Nasdaq coming down. Again, I might just be straight up wrong, but yeah. Hey, 250 is better than nothing, you know. Amazon's flushing down too. Nvidia down to 142s. Still trying here. Chat, still trying. And again, we are trading on Top Step X today, the best platform in futures. Best funded account and platform in futures in the game. If you want to check out more, check out the link in the description. We're grinding it up this morning, trying to get in some good trades. I gotta wait at least a couple minutes for the opening bell to play out first. And if we gotta, like, the problem is that we're in the middle of the range here. Here's the very middle of the range. Right, like that's the middle of the range. You can see the range on the top. Here's the bottom. We are literally dead set in the middle. I'm not trying to mess with that. We need at least some type of edge first on one side, and we just don't see it yet. All right, Nvidia bounced it up a little bit. Leading into big earnings tomorrow. I wonder what the market's going to move like. And of course, guys, I could certainly be wrong. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I could definitely be wrong. Don't copy me. Looking at our poll numbers here, we asked people, are you red or green? 50-50 split down the middle. Hey, digital, let's be respectful, bro. Regardless. That's why I don't like politics, dude. It's too... Yeah. It's too divisive. People get too emotional. Yeah, so we are so far about 4 minutes into the opening bell. I'm actually going to start shorting this, I think. I'm going to start shorting here. We're going to take some size now. See if we can play. We got 2 contracts. Start taking larger trades. I don't mind attacking some stuff, but so far we're wrong. We're trying to take longer term trades, but I think Nvidia is going to correct back down is what I'm trying to bet on here. There we go. Almost green. I'm gonna go ahead and get out half. I just want to limit my risk. This is moving too quickly for me, so I can take one contract. It's too close to the open. I think I should probably stick to it. If it's this close to the open, I think I should probably take at least like one contract max. I would have made money here, but that's all right. Again, same logic. I think Nvidia is gonna break down some more. It's up too much. If we get into the green, we'll add our size right back here. There we go. 2 contracts now. There we go. I just took another, made $15 profit. So we're green heading into this trade, but now we're bouncing back some here too. Slightly green here, not a huge amount though. I just want to see if we break down. Now we're basically purely flat. A lot of red has happened. We're down a little bit now, but we already took some profit, so it's not the worst. Yeah, we got to cut it down. So we lost like 35 bucks, 30 bucks there. Not the worst. If we get to the top of the range, maybe we'll short again. We are ripping up though. Look at that move. Start to short again here. We'll add 2 contracts to this too. Add some more. Slightly green. Nvidia's dragging us up though. I gotta get out of this. The reason I'm getting out is because Nvidia is flying up right now. I don't want to say we flat on that last trade. It might have worked, but look at Nvidia up here. It's just too risky. Yeah, it's kind of just rangy. I don't want to get stuck in this big move here for Nvidia though. I'm trading futures futures contracts, Tom. So I'm trading top step futures contracts. All right, we're at the top of the range. We're gonna short, I guess, here, and maybe take 2 contracts short. Risky for sure, but I think eventually Nvidia is gonna come back down. Flat so far. It's hard to capitalize on it, I think. Here's Nvidia coming down. All right, took a piece of that off. We'll add to this too. Took some more off, up about 20 so far on this one. See if we can grind up some more. There we go. All right, so we just made about 30 bucks there. I'll take that. We'll see if we can get some better range. We're at the top of the range. I don't want Nvidia to push up too much here. Again, we got Tesla earnings tomorrow. This week is kind of the quiet before the storm. I'm saying next week's the busiest week in markets for a while. Yeah, and here's Nvidia starting to rip up, which is what I was worried about. That's why I got out so quickly. Here's Nvidia up big. We'll short the top of the range again, see if we follow the trend that we've been following. We will add a little bit to this too. We're flat, now we're down a little bit. I don't want to add to it. Kind of flat over the last 2 trades. We made some, we lost some. Hey, now we're back green. I'm going to take that profit while we can. All right, we got 2 contracts now. There we go. Bad fill, but we still made some. All right, we're doing pretty good. We're reading the market well, at least. Here's our last few trades. So, it's better than what it could be. Again, we're trading the QQQ in a 50K funded account on Top Step. Yeah. Trend has been my friend today. We've been following the same trend all pre-market. We're going to keep doing this every day, so if you want a good channel where we watch these trends, we're going to start trend watching a lot more. almost just died. Whoever's watching GNPX did break highs again. It's up to $4. Let me know if y'all can hear the music now. You should be able to. Let me see what my stuff's at right now. Okay, we're basically flat on the day. Could be worse. See if Nvidia makes a break for it here. Big pop for Nvidia. It's up. I'm gonna short the very top of this range here. We're still down a little bit on the day, so I might as well swing for it here, I think. See if we make this retracement. Flat so far. I don't think Nvidia's gonna hold up here. It broke so many highs already. Maybe I'm just wrong. I guess it's ripping up. I want to check for it to reverse back down, though. I just don't think it's going to hold. I think one thing we do see is Amazon, Apple, a couple other ones run. Problem is we broke out of that original trend that we drew here. Yeah, we just got some momentum coming through. We'll see what Nvidia does. Yeah, I gotta cut it. Well, looks like it's gonna be a red day again. I think it's been so hard to trade lately, man. At least for me. I might just be managing them wrong. That's possible too. But we finally broke out of that trend. I probably shouldn't have. I shouldn't have bet against Nvidia there. Yeah, what a rip. Again, we broke out of the trend that we've been in all morning. And again, it could have been worse. Today, I put the beginner in beginner trading, huh? But no, it's all good. I can make fun of myself a little bit. And again, we'll see what we get. Again, here's Nvidia. Nvidia has been the name of the day. Like, Nvidia has been flying up. Like, flying up, you know? And so we'll see if we get some better results now. Look at Nvidia finally start to turn some. We'll see if it holds down there. Still trying to hold, but had a big rip. Nvidia, is this a 1 minute chart? Yeah, it is. It could have been worse. Let me see where we're at. We're not really down too much. Yeah, I think maybe the market's waiting. Like, Tesla earnings are tomorrow, right? And then next week is going to be such a busy week that, you know, maybe the market's just picking up some steam ahead of that. I don't know. Let's see if Nvidia ends up breaking. I think Nvidia will probably reverse back down here, too. But who freaking knows, man? Nvidia, again, the problem is that it's breaking all-time highs when it does this. The question is, how long can this continue? I guess for me, it's like this thing has continued breaking all-time highs over and over and over again. And a lot of the time, like, they touch all-time highs and then they correct coming all the way back down, right? Nvidia recently has just broken all-time highs and then it's just squeezing up again and again and again and again. And so it's just not what I expected. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes, I guess. Again, the good part about Top Step X, though, is that if I would have risked my own money, I would have lost much more today. And so, you know, it would have been much worse if I would have risked my own money. I'd have lost much more, for sure. And so that's the good part about TopStep is that TopStep gives you a demo. They test your skill with a demo account first. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, it is $49 for the base one. 0 commissions, the biggest edge in funding. Like I've said many times, it really is the single biggest edge in funding. You can limit your risk, lose at day trading, and lose less than you would funding yourself. If you pass it, you still get a 90% split. It's similar to funding yourself, just noticeably less risk. And so if you want to check it out, there's the link. I'm going to get out of here. Not a good start to my day. There's my wife calling me every day around the same time. Hello? Yeah, so I see some people asking about TopStep. So TopStep, they have options, right? You got between 50K up to 150K, 90% split once you're funded. So the base one, you got to make 3K without losing 2K. The top one, you got to make 9K without losing 45K, right? So reasonable ratios. This one's 2 to 3. This one's 2 to 3. So 2 to 3 ratios is mostly what they offer, which isn't bad, right? It could be worse. And again, it's pretty reasonable, I think, because most day traders lose, right? So if you fund yourself, and like all I know is my own experience. I put up 5K in the beginning, lost all of it within a month, I would say. My wife yelled at me, begged me not to risk it in the beginning, and I ended up losing all of it. If I would have had something like this, I would have lost noticeably less and just saved money. But again, they're an affiliate or sponsor of mine. I'm biased. So, I mean, that's definitely true. I'm definitely biased in their favor. But if you want to check it out, here's the link. I appreciate the love. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. We'll be back tomorrow. Tesla earnings, guys, live. Tesla earnings tomorrow, live. Be ready. And, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Good luck. I love you all. You'll have a great day. I'm going to get out of here. I'm just losing today, so I'm just not going to fight it too much. Maybe we'll turn around and win. I'll let you guys know if I do. But, yeah, tomorrow, Tesla earnings. Big day. I'll see you guys then.